What is up, you guys? My name is Aubrey and this is my channel, and today we're going to be talking about stimulus and relief and funding options for those of you who never received the PPP. You see, as of today, or as of a few days ago, the PPP is officially over. It is dead, it is out of money. But that doesn't mean that there isn't still some grant programs that you can take advantage of. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down what these programs are, who qualifies for them, and how you can apply. So let's get started. As of May 31st, the PPP is officially over. Now, this probably doesn't come to a shock to anybody that watches this channel because of the fact that even though May 31st was the official deadline of the PPP, the program actually ran out of money a few weeks before that, at the beginning of May. You see, the program ran out of the majority of its funds at the beginning of May, and at that point moving forward, the program was only giving out funds to a very small group of people. People that banked with community financial institutions and people that had their funds being held by the SBA because of a hold code issue. Now, unless you fell into one of these two groups of people, chances are you did not receive any PPP funding between the beginning of May and the end of May whenever the program officially ended. But despite the fact that the program ran out of funds at the beginning of May, the program still expired on May 31st. And shortly after that day, the SBA Administrator, Isabel Guzman, gave a statement about the PPP, stating that the PPP helped millions of different business owners and entrepreneurs, that it helped keep people employed, and that the program did exactly what it was meant to do. Now, this statement of the SBA, in my opinion, is indicative to the fact that the program is officially over. Now, this is something that I think is interesting because over the last few weeks, I had been wondering if this was something that could potentially be extended and reinstated. I was curious to see if the SBA or lawmakers or even President Joe Biden would step in and try to give the PPP more funding. But with this statement coming from the SBA as well as the SBA administrator, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. And it looks as though the program is in fact over for good, at least until the next pandemic, which fingers crossed never happens. But just because the PPP is over does not mean that there isn't other types of programs that you can look into for yourself. And that's really what I want to talk about today. I want to discuss some of the programs that are and are not still viable options for you if you're somebody who's looking for assistance. And with that, let's dig into the first one that I'd like to talk about, which is the fourth stimulus check. So as you guys know, we received 3 stimulus checks over the last year. We received a $1,200 payment around this time last year. We received a $600 payment at the end of 2020 or the beginning of 2021. And then we received a $1,400 stimulus check in spring of 2021. Now, there has been a lot of discussions over the last few weeks or over the last few months of a 4th stimulus check. And there are some YouTubers on this platform talking about the fact that we will without a doubt receive a 4th stimulus check, and that it's not a matter of if we're going to receive one, it is simply a matter of when. Now, I personally believe that this is very, very incorrect, and I do not believe that we will be seeing a 4th stimulus check. In fact, I would bet almost anything that we won't. There is not a 4th stimulus check allocated in President Joe Biden's budget proposal. If President Joe Biden wanted to push for a 4th stimulus check, there would have certainly been space made in the budget proposal for that. There isn't a 4th stimulus check laid out in the American Families Plan, and there also isn't one in the American Jobs Plan. There is no discussion on any legislator's calendar with any sort of hearing or any sort of debate that is surrounding the topic of a 4th stimulus check. All of these signs are pointing to the fact that we are not getting a 4th stimulus check. It simply will not happen. And I truly believe that anybody who is making YouTube videos talking about a 4th stimulus check is somebody that is simply just baiting for views, and they know that we aren't actually going to receive one. That is, of course, my opinion. I'm not here to call out any YouTubers specifically or start any type of YouTube drama, but I do believe that that's the case, and I strongly encourage you that if you're somebody who is watching these videos about a 4th stimulus check, and if you've been convinced that we will get one, I would encourage you not to keep your hopes up. The next funding options that I want to discuss are in regards to homeowners, specifically housing vouchers and the Homeowners Assistance Fund. Both of these programs are very different in execution, and the details about eligibility and how to apply are also very different, but both of these programs basically do the same thing. They try to get people into affordable housing, or they try to assist people in being able to afford their current housing. But basically what a housing voucher is it's a voucher by the US government that can help you pay for a portion of your living expenses. And this is a way to allow for people living in very low poverty levels to be able to still afford adequate, safe, and clean housing. Alternatively, the Homeowners Assistance Fund is a fund that's been set up for people that have been falling behind on their mortgages, and this is a way to combat people getting evicted from their houses or being foreclosed on. Both of these programs are very, very valuable if you're somebody that is either struggling to pay for housing, struggling to find affordable housing, or if you're somebody who is falling behind with your housing payments. Number 3 is the child tax credit. Now, this is something that is incredibly valuable to anybody that has a child. Now, granted, the child tax credit does have income restrictions and eligibility requirements that you do have to meet in order to get the payments. But basically what this means is that depending on the age of your child, you could receive $3,000 or $3,600 on behalf of the child that you have. You could receive this money in the form of both a lump sum payment next year whenever you file your taxes, as well as monthly payments between the month of July and December of 2021. Now, these payments will begin starting in July, so just a few weeks down the road. In order to get ready for these payments, all you have to do is make sure that your 2020 taxes are filed. You don't have to fill out an application. You don't have to get online into a portal. You don't have to do anything. You just simply have to make sure that your taxes are filed and that they are accurate. Make sure that your taxes reflect an address. It, in fact, doesn't even have to be your address. If you're somebody that is moving a lot, or if you're somebody that is potentially in between houses, you could use the address of a trusted friend or a trusted relative, but there does have to be an address there in some way, shape, or form. Make sure that the contact information is accurate, and make sure that all of the information regarding income and also dependent information is accurate as well. If you do this, then the government will start giving you monthly payments on behalf of that child starting next month. Number 4 is niche grants and niche funding options. Now I'm clumping all of these into one category because of the fact that they're pretty broad and they don't apply to everybody. First is the Restaurant Revitalization Fund. Now, quick disclaimer, this program actually ran out of money, but there is some discussion here and there about giving it more money and more funds. Now, there was a hearing last week with the SBA, and during that hearing, it was discussed the possibility of giving this program more funds, and as a result, it would extend and open the program up to more people. If this program opens back up, then that will give you the ability to apply for the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, which is a grant program for any business owner that has a restaurant, food, or drink-focused business. And the same umbrella of niche grants for niche business owners is the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant. And this is a grant that you do not have to pay back for people that are in the venue space. So concert halls, museums, talent agencies are thrown into this as well. Theater hall operators, movie theater operators, and more. If you're somebody that has a venue-focused business, then you're somebody that could potentially be eligible for the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant. Unlike the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, there is plenty of funding left in the Shuttered Venues Grant, and so if you're somebody that could qualify, I highly encourage you to apply. In addition to these two, there is also a third grant option that is in the works, but it isn't something that is set in stone as of right now. And this is a grant program that is going to be targeted towards the fitness and health industry. Because of COVID-19 and because of closures, gyms were significantly and hugely impacted by that. And as a result, even today, as we are heading out of the pandemic, gyms and fitness industry-based businesses are still struggling. In fact, there's a lot of experts that predict that it will take years before the fitness industry is back to where it was pre-pandemic. So there is discussions of offering gym owners and people who work in the fitness industry a grant to help them expedite the process of returning to pre-pandemic levels. As of right now, the exact details of what this would look like are still up in the air. It's unclear if it would only be brick and mortar gym owners, if like online-based gym owners and trainers, if personal trainers would qualify. All of that stuff is still in the works, and this is certainly not a clear-cut grant program that 100% will be offered, but it is something that is being discussed, and it is something that's worth keeping an eye out on. And the next grant loan program that I want to talk about is one of the tried and true ways to get money during the pandemic, and that is the EIDL program. Now, whenever it comes to the EIDL program, there are kind of 3 parts to this program. We have the EIDL loan, which is something that you can apply for online at the SBA's website. This is something that is fairly straightforward to get, and if you're somebody that has a business, a side hustle, or if you are self-employed, then you could absolutely qualify for this loan. Now, this is something that does have to be paid back. It is not considered to be free money, but it is something that is a very accessible low interest loan that could be very good and very beneficial depending on your financial circumstances. Now, I've done a lot of videos on this topic, so I will just leave it at that. If you're somebody who's interested in learning more about the EIDL loan, then I would encourage you to check out some of the playlists down in the description below. The second part of the EIDL program is the EIDL Targeted Cash Advance, and this is a $10,000 cash advance that is going out to eligible individuals. As of right now, this is invite only, but there is a lot of discussions to make this no longer invite only. There is the possibility of opening it up to more people, or at the very least, making the criteria a bit more broad. In fact, the SBA administrator was at a hearing last week, and during that hearing, she mentioned just that. She mentioned that in the month of July, this program would be opened up to the general public, but the exact details of when that will happen and what exactly it will entail are still up in the air. And the third part of this EIDL program is the EIDL Supplemental Targeted Advance. And this is a $5,000 targeted advance that is also invite only, and it has even more strict criteria than the EIDL Targeted Cash Advance. This is another one that you do not have to pay back, and as of right now, it looks as though this could potentially be opening up to more people this month as well. But similarly to the targeted EIDL Cash Advance, we don't know the exact details of what this entails, what the timeframes are, what the eligibility requirements are. We don't really know any of those details. All we know is that per the SBA administrator herself, this program could potentially be opening up to more people this month. And the last funding option on this list is one that is another tried and true way to get money, pandemic or not. The fact is the SBA was created and it serves the purpose of serving small businesses, of creating and providing resources to small businesses. And a huge part of that is an SBA loan program. Now, the SBA loan program is a way for small businesses to get bank funding to either start, expand, or improve their business venture. I got an SBA loan years back, and I know firsthand the benefit that these loans can be in starting a business of your own. I get questions all the time of people who are looking for funding options, and oftentimes these questions are framed something along the lines of, hey, I'm wanting to start a business, can I use the PPP in order to do it? Or, hey, I'm wanting to start a business, can I get a loan for that business startup through the EIDL loan program? And the answer is no. All of COVID relief was set up to help pre-existing businesses, not to help start new businesses. It was created to help businesses begin, to help people start businesses of their own. And so if you're somebody that is wanting to start a business, if you're somebody that is wanting to be an entrepreneur and you need the funding and money is holding you back, the SBA is a very valuable resource. Now, I do have a really deep dive video coming probably next week. I've been working on it for a while now that will walk you through the exact steps, step by step, of how to apply for an SBA loan. I'm going to take you through the process of a business plan, of getting your P&Ls, your balance sheets, applying for banks, what you need to do from A to Z. That monster of a video is coming next week, so if you want to learn about that and if you want to hear from my own personal experience of getting an SBA loan, a six-figure SBA loan at that, then please make sure to subscribe and make sure to hit the notification bell so that you do not miss that video once it finally drops. With that being said, you guys, I know that there are a lot of people out there that are very disappointed with the fact that the PPP is now a thing of the past. In fact, I've gotten a lot of messages from you guys asking me if there's any way around the fact that it's been closed. But the fact of the matter is, it is closed. If you have not received money through the PPP program, unfortunately, it is too late at this point. But there are still other alternatives that you can work towards in order to get funding for you, your business, or yourself. There are programs out there. You just simply have to look for them, and they may not be quite as easy to find as the PPP. They certainly aren't as mainstream as the PPP. But with that being said, if you have any questions, comments, if you have anything to add, make sure to leave a comment down below. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video.